All right, today I'm talking about accurate Bible, the accurate Bible. And of course, if I'm translating Tale of Two Cities and I'm mistranslate or misconstrue the first chapter, it's going to throw a bad light on the whole book. And if the very first book in the Brit Hadashah is actually Yaakov's epistle, the half-brother of Moshiach ben David, Yaakov ben David. If that is actually the beginning of the Brit Hadashah, because it's the most primitive book, it's an early book, a book that doesn't know anything about the Goyim coming in, whether to give them the Bris Milah, anything about the obligation of the Goyim regarding the Torah. If it's a book that doesn't really know anything about the later issues, and if it's a book that's really about emunah, it's about faith. If it's a book that really, you might say it's a midrash on Matthew 7:21, where he says, "Many will call me Adonai, and I will say, I never knew you." And then later on in Matthew 22, verse 13, how did you get in here? This is a person with defective faith. And if the synagogue is a primitive synagogue that knows nothing about aposinagogos, the Greek word in John 9:22, meaning expelled from the synagogue. If it's a synagogue where, okay, perhaps the predominant faction is Messianic Jews, but because it's a synagogue and these rich people are coming in, he's warning them, he's rebuking them because they're being sycophantic, they're actually being favoritistic, they're treating the poor person with contempt. You sit over here, but they're being very deferential to the rich people coming in. If that's going on, and many other things like that, where the so-called faith they have is really not faith that can save you. It's not active in love. It doesn't have any energetic activity to repent and do the right thing. But it's this lip service. If all that is true, then you better take a look at the Orthodox Jewish Bible, because I think you will find there's accuracy here that's lacking in some of the other translations and even in the commentaries. One of my professors actually says, without any warrant, that there's a two-stage authorship thing going on here, where this ignorant Galilean writes the first draft, and then somebody later with polished Greek actually puts it into the form that it's in now, and it really wasn't the exclusive work of the half-brother of the Moshiach, who was a direct descendant of King David, who was a preeminent leader in the early congregations, especially in Jerusalem, especially when Kippah left Jerusalem. You see, there's all kinds of speculation. But when you try to look at this as a Jewish document, where you see the Shema right off the bat, you see the Shema, you believe that God is one. Well, big deal, the demons believe that. Your faith has got to be deeper than that. When you see the prayer, the Jewish tefillah, the prayer of the pious Jewish rabbi in Jerusalem, praying for the believers all over the world and giving them this letter to make their faith more practical. You can see that it really doesn't have anything to do with the other issues that come up later in the congregational history. And you know, Paul would agree with everything in this letter, because he also speaks about faith that is active in love, faith that works, faith that is not dead, but is energetic in activity according to love. And so what I would recommend to you is that you take a look at the Orthodox Jewish Bible. Also, download the complete book for Artists for Israel, afii.org/afii.pdf. Go to page 973, I think it is, and read the whole article there about Yaakov ben David. And then open the Orthodox Jewish Bible, which is free, afii.org/O, J, B.pdf, and look at the epistle that Yaakov ben David wrote. It's on page 1099, and look at it, because we're talking about an accurate Bible that has an accurate presentation of the good news. And if you will look at Rav Shaul's verse that's always brought up here, Romans 3:28, and then compare Yaakov, you'll see that they're talking about two different things, that they really agree. One is talking about how you come to faith. Many Jewish people believe that you don't really need Yeshua. All you need are the mitzvahs. If you do the mitzvahs, then that makes you righteous, and the death of Moshiach is not needed. There's nothing even remotely connected to that in the letter of Yaakov. He's talking about something else. He's talking about real faith, real saving faith, which is not an intellectual assent and not lip